Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco. Today we're taking on Loughborough Dynamo in the league. We're going to call it, it's a difficult league to say, it's the Evo League Northern Premier League Division 1 East, but apparently in the comment section I was told that it's just affectionately known as the Evo East. So I think from here on out we're just going to call it the Evo East because that does make a lot more sense. Before we get started on today's episode as well, I do want to say a big thank you out there to everyone who's ever watched a video of mine. Over the weekend we hit the 1 million view mark on all videos. So total views on the channel are now over 1 million views, which is crazy. That's a crazy number to achieve. I never thought that would be, it sounds very cliche, but when you start a channel, you don't really think, oh, I'm going to hit 1 million views in, I don't know, however long it is. So it never really occurred to me until I saw, like, the other week, we're like, oh, blimey, we're on like 990,000 views and nearly 1 million. And then suddenly, you know, it's got to 1 million views total on the channel. And that's crazy. Like a million people, or not 1 million people, but 1 million views on things I've created. That's pretty impressive, I think. So I pat my back to myself, and thank you to everyone who's watched the video as well. It means a lot, so thank you. Also, I just realised I'm wearing a green top as well, and there's a green screen, obviously. So this will be a funny episode for you to watch, it's my floating head. Right then, into today's episode, and as I was saying, we are playing Loughborough Dynamo. We're doing pretty well. We've done pretty well since you were last here. We'll start off with that first. Since you were last here, we have done pretty well. So you were last here for the Cleethorpes game, a 2-1 win. Fantastic stuff, building on the wins that we'd already had before that. That was good, 5 wins in a row. The next game we played Pickering Town, lost 1-0. That was unfortunate. We didn't play particularly well in that game. We didn't really create many chances. It was a real weird game. We had a lot of possession, but didn't really create many chances, and Pickering scored in the 3rd minute, and to be fair, probably deserved their win, I've got to say. But they also have perhaps the best football badge, or logo, or whatever you want to call it, I've ever seen. I think from what I can see, it looks like there's 2 fish jumping through hoops. I just think that's amazing. After the Pickering Town game, we played Spalding United again. We beat them 1-0 on the first day of the season. This time, we go one better and beat them 2-0. Josh Nicol and Matt Wilson with the goals in that game, which is good stuff. Marks United was next, a 1-1 draw there. They scored... Now, this draw frustrated me. They scored in the 91st minute. Now, let me show you their equaliser. So their goalkeeper has the ball. He clears it up. It's headed on by their player. Jacklin should just go and get that. No, he just stops there. He just stops there, leaves Emery in no man's land, who can't get to the ball first. Grant gets there, gets it past Michael Emery and puts it in the back of the net. So, quite frankly, Michael Jacklin, what were you doing there? So, unfortunately, we drew that game rather than winning it, which we should have done. If we end up now losing the title by 2 points or getting relegated by 2 points, we know who to blame, basically. We followed up with 2 good wins, though. Paul Grimes and Matt Cotton on the score sheet away from home against Wisbech. We then beat Greasley 3-1 away from home as well. Dickens, Smith and Connor Robinson with the goals in that game as well. So a pretty good run of fixtures, I've got to say. We've won 3, drawn 1, lost 1. It's pretty good, I've got to say. So what that means for the table is that we now sit 6th in the table because it was so tight. We have managed to rise up the table pretty quickly. So we're in 6th, 4 points off Pickering Town, who beat us. So we won't go into the playoffs in this episode, but it's looking likely. If we continue in the form that we are in, we will be in the playoffs in no time, I bet. As you can see from this calendar, we are midway through January. Now, usually for most teams, this is the January transfer window. For us non-league clubs, you can sort of make transfers throughout the season whenever you want to make them, which is quite good. But I'm not bothered about making transfers at the moment. I think, as we've seen from recent results, the team is good enough to get up there, so I'm not too fussed about making changes just yet. We also can't afford anyone else at the club. That's part of the issue. So we need to look at where we need to cut players, basically, to make room for next season. So if we go into the squad view, then I think the best way to look at this and try and start to think of where to cut players is if we sort it by appearances. So Michael Emery's made the most appearances, 25 alongside Rob Norris. So they're going to be at the top of the list, all the way down to Phil McGann, who's not made any single appearance because Michael Emery is just too good in goal, clearly, for Mike McGann to get into the squad. If we now switch it to contract view, we can see what money every player is on. Now, Matt Cotton has just signed a new deal, a new 2-year deal, actually, on £110. He was on £100, he's now on £110. That's fine by me because he's kind of worth the money, I think. And we also save money by giving Jason Palling a new contract. He was on £75, or it might have been £85 actually, but he's now on £60. So we've sort of made a few savings there, which is good. What we do need to do, though, is cut players from the budget. So obviously, Phil McGann is probably going to have to go. He's not started, but he's on £50 a week. Will we get the backup keeper on that kind of money? Probably not, actually. So maybe he's worth keeping if he takes a pay cut. Tom Garrick has barely played at all, obviously, on £65 a week. He can probably go as well. I'm sorry, Tom, but you've not started and you're not up to scratch with the other players at the moment, I'm afraid. Training performances from you as well have also been pretty bad. He's also unhappy. What are you unhappy about? He wants first team. Well, yeah, fair play. I understand that. Unfortunately, though, I think you, Marlon Grundy, Luke Hornsey, Kev Stay, and whatever even though he's not going to get a work permit, we're going to try and find a way to keep Kev at the club. And then we get to these players that are sort of on the bench that are doing all right, and we have to really start to think about it. So Sean Wright, for example, on £75 a week, that's a lot of money to just be sitting on the bench. It's going to be very, very tough come the end of the season. I think everyone's contract is pretty much up at the end of the season. If we look through this, there's 3 players, Matt Cotton, Jason Palling and Michael Jacklin. They've got 2-year deals, or they've got another year on the contract after this one. Everyone else at the end of the season is up for grabs, basically. So there's probably going to be like quite a lot of movement, I think. Quite a lot of movement. Hopefully we can keep some of these key players like Connor Robinson, Dickens, Corrigan, Matt Wilson. I'd love to keep hold of Matt Wilson. I mean, Callum Smith, to be fair, has done very well on that left-hand side of the pitch. I also don't want to get rid of him because if we look at his history, when it wants to load his player screen, it's taken ages for some reason. He's been at the club for 10 seasons total in his 2 different spells. So I'd feel very bad if we got rid of him. You know, he's part of the furniture pretty much. We've got a lot of decisions to make. We also have to think as well, what kind of positions are we lacking? We're always lacking on the left-hand side of the field. We're lacking in midfield a little bit, so it's probably a good idea to keep our midfielders and try and add 1 or 2 to it as well. We do have quite a few strikers. We've got 4 or 5 strikers, I've got to say. So, I mean, really, we should cut 2 of those at a minimum. Some players actually may not want to sign new contracts. At the moment, Connor Robinson does not want to sign a new contract. He's still pretty cross with me about everything a few weeks ago with not playing very well. He doesn't want to sign a new contract right now. It may turn out that he signs for someone else. So that's £100 freed up, which could be quite good. Like, we've currently got £1,520 per week to spend on wages. We're over that by £100 or £90 now, but I don't think that's going to go up anytime soon unless the board start to put more money back into the club. We mentioned last episode they put £45,000 in to put us back into the black, but obviously that's just going to go down and down and down. Projection for the end of the season is only minus 54,000 actually now, which is quite good. Much better than 100 or minus 140,000 that it was right at the start of the season. So if we get another injection from the board, perhaps try and cut our losses somewhere else, then maybe we will get a bigger budget next season. Then maybe we won't have to cut all these players. But it's something it's worth thinking about right now. It's something to think about right now. I think my plan is, well, we have got, I don't know if we've got any at the moment actually. Have we got any players? No players on trial at the moment. Basically, anytime a player comes up on the scout report thing, I just try and get them on trial. Just save my scouts some time and also scouts them out for me if we get them on trial. So we've been getting lots of players on trial. None of them are like amazing, actually. None of them are amazing at the moment, but we'll see. We've still got a long way. It's only January, but I'm just conscious that I want to start planning for next season, especially if I have a late push towards the playoffs at the end of the season. Anyway, I'm rambling on too much. That's the idea. Let me know in the comment section what you think we should do. It's difficult to know what to do, but let me know in the comment section what you would do in my situation right now. On with the game though, and we are playing with the usual 4-2-3-1 formation that we sort of stuck with in the recent weeks, and it's worked very, very well for us, I've got to say. It's been really effective. So, I don't think the team's changed since you were last here. I've sort of settled on my starting lineup. The subs get game time every now and again. The guys who aren't on the bench, I mean, really, they're not going to get any game time at all. So I'm sorry, chaps, but I mean, you're not cutting the mustard right now. Michael Emery stays in goal with Corrigan, Wilson, Jacklin, and Palling making up the back line. Dickens and Norris come into that midfield. We do need more midfielders, a bit more versatile midfielders as well. We don't have a playmaker. I'd really like to get a playmaker in the squad at some point, so that's something to think about too. Wingers, Smith and Nicol are good. They've been playing well, but they're not the best wingers out there. We can get better at our level for those kind of positions. Cotton has played relatively well in the centre of the pitch, although he's just massively inconsistent. That's what it is. He's massively inconsistent, as is Connor Robinson, actually. Now, Connor has... See, I've been swapping him, Paul and Kevin around quite a bit, and Connor, although he's got the best rating, like, he'll get like an 8.9 one game, then like a 5.9 another game. It's really weird, especially these two. They should be really good, but they're just very inconsistent. But that's a starting lineup. Hopefully, we'll take on Loughborough Dynamo today and beat them. They're sitting down in 16th in the table, I believe. So it's going to be an interesting game. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today in Loughborough. What a place Loughborough is. Just a really small town, really, in between Nottingham and Leicester, but it's just filled with uni students because, I mean, that's pretty much what makes up Loughborough, I've got to say. But Loughborough Dynamo are probably actually worse than, like, all the university sports teams because Loughborough is, like, the renowned sports university. If you go to Loughborough, it's because you're either amazing at sports or you're contributing to sports science, probably, something like that. Hopefully, though, Loughborough Dynamo don't have all the uni students who are really good at football and stuff like that in the squad. I don't think they will do. They shouldn't do, at least I don't think. And hopefully, we'll beat them today as Dickens collects the ball in the middle of the park and plays it out towards Smith, who puts it in towards Robinson, just a bit too much on it. Goes through to Andrews at the back, and now Loughborough can look to try and counter-attack. The ball forward is very good, to be fair. Jacklin should have done better to make the interception there. Massive save from Michael Emery, and it goes out for a throw. And that's an early warning sign from Loughborough. Not quite sure what the stadium is meant to be called. Nan Pantan. Like, what does that even mean? Like, usually, I mean, Ashby Avenue, that's Lincoln United Stadium. It's called Ashby Avenue because the road it's on is called Ashby Avenue. Sincil Bank for Lincoln City, it's called Sincil Bank because it's on Sincil Bank. The Etihad Stadium, it's called the Etihad because they bloody sponsor it. I don't know what Nan Pantan is, but I like it. To be fair, the more I say it, the more I like the name. So perhaps actually they're onto something there with a good name. Nickel coming forward down this right hand side though, gets tackled straight away, and the ball is cleared, but only as far as Michael Jacklin, who heads it down towards Norris. Norris to Palling to Nickel. Nickel cuts inside. Can he get it a bit more central? Runs with the ball instead. Plays it across to Corrigan actually. A nice ball there. Some good vision there. Into Dickens, out towards Smith. We've worked the triangle quite nicely there. Smith back to Dickens. Dickens to Norris. If Norris can get it through to Corrigan, which he can do. A lovely move. Corrigan puts it in towards Smith. Smith to Norris. Norris fires it into the back of the net from the edge of the area. His first goal of the season, assisted by Callum Smith. And we are 1-0 up in this game. Fantastic stuff. See, I don't know. It took a little bit of a while for us to sort of gel together. If only we'd played this formation from the start of the season, and rather than wasting time with a 4-4-2, as Palling really should have squared it to Robinson there. Really should have put it across to Robinson there, but for whatever reason didn't. Smith with the corner now. Goes all the way through there. I thought it was about to fall for our man, but it didn't. Smith with another chance in towards Robinson, saved by the keeper. But as I was saying, I wish we played this formation from the start of the season because we just wasted our time with a 4-4-2. Like, I don't know why I stuck with it for so long. And I don't know why I didn't think about doing this formation. To be fair, I've never done that well with possessional style tactics before. I just can never get him to work properly. So I always go for like a quite attacking, but don't have much possession sort of formation. But all our games we've had at least 60% possession, which is pretty decent, I've got to say. Like that surprised me, and it's been working very, very well. We've been very effective. We don't score many, as in, I don't know, with the 4-3-1-2 that we have, we don't have much possession, but we've managed to score quite a few goals in those games. We concede quite a few as well, but we score quite a lot, so it kind of balances out basically. But with this one, we don't score so many, but we have kept quite a few clean sheets, which is quite nice. And as you can see as well, actually, we are dominating the stats as well. 12 shots to 4 shots, 9 on target to 2 on target. It's working quite effectively. And I didn't think it would do. I didn't think this style of play would actually work that well at this level, but clearly I was completely wrong. So we've got another chance to come forward. Nickel once again on the ball. He's been quite bright on the ball right hand side of the pitch. That cross wasn't so good, but Cotton puts it back to Palling in towards Norris. Norris in towards Dickens. Dickens with plenty of space in towards Cotton, out towards Corrigan. See, we're just working for space. We're working with space really nicely. This possessional style of play, we're just trying to, as I say that, we give the ball away. But we just try to, don't score now. Good save, Michael Emery. You can see it though in action. You can see it. We just pass it round very calmly, looking for those openings to just present themselves to us. And sometimes they do, and sometimes we score from them. As the cross or corner rather from Loughborough wasn't the best. They've got another chance now though. We need to be switched on defensively. Michael Jacklin, well left. I think we'll make some changes shortly. As once again, Loughborough through. The ball hits the post, bounces off Michael Emery's back and goes in for an own goal. I think my mouse might have been in the way, actually, which is a little bit annoying. I think we do make some changes now. Again, Connor Robinson on a 6.4. Really ineffective, not playing well. Paul Grimes will come on. You can have a good game out there. Matt Wilson not playing that well at the back, so we'll bring Sean Wright on for him at centre-back. Although we'll swap him and Jacklin round just because I think Sean Wright's kind of okay as a ball-playing defender. That was unlucky there for Michael. That was unlucky. There's not really much you can do about that. If it hits the post and bounces off your back, like, what can you do? Hopefully, though, we will get ourselves back into this game. As you can see, 15 minutes left. We've got a free kick on the edge of the area. Dickens' free kick, just wide of the post. That was a cracking free kick, to be fair. We'll shout push forward to the boys out there. We'll shout push forward with the last, 15, 20 minutes or so. 15, 10 minutes ago, actually, not 20 minutes. Palling on the ball up towards Norris. If we can get this ball forward relatively quickly, that would be nice. Although, we have just given it away. Robin's coming forward. Just over the bar from Loughborough. They're really, really starting to turn the screw a little bit now. We're making a few silly mistakes. Loughborough coming at us a little bit. Here come Loughborough again towards the end of the game. Robbins has been put through there. He's in behind the defence. He puts a cross into Palmer. Robbins, he puts it in. What did I say? They were coming back at us very late on in this game, and suddenly it's worked for them. I've got to say, we were in complete control of this game until, 70, 75 minutes into the game, and suddenly Loughborough just decided to start playing well, and it looks like we're going to lose it now. And that is disappointing. Dickens' corner right at the end of the game, cleared by Robbins. Right on the ball now, coming forward. Well, not really coming forward, it's going nowhere with it particularly. Gets himself tackled. And again, now it's a 2-on-2 situation here. He's absolutely free and unmarked in the middle. Jacqueline gets in the way, luckily. Otherwise, that would have been a certain goal for Loughborough. And it wouldn't even have mattered anyway because they've won 2-1. That's taken me by surprise. Well, I've got to say, that the end of that game was just not good enough. Just not good enough at all. Like, the ratings are decent. We've got decent ratings from the players. Just for the last 15 minutes that they just switched off. Well, I know someone who's going to be happy in the comment section. I know someone who's going to be very happy in the comment section. So that result puts us down to 8th in the table, but we're still 5 points off Pickering Town, actually. So it's not too bad. It's not been that bad of a result for us. We're still up there still. Still a long way to go in the season. We're way over half the way through the season now. So we're on the home stretch, I suppose, really. There's, 14 games left in the season. 14 games left this season. There's still plenty of time to get into that playoff position. And I think we can do it. I think we can do it. We just have to get the results down. We just have to start winning the games. So there's really not long to go left in the season at all. I think next episode we will do 2 games. Not a 2-game episode yet, this series. But I think next episode we'll go for Pontefract Collieries and Morpeth Town. I think that's probably the best thing to go for. We did Morpeth earlier on in the season, but they are up there. They're second in the table. They're sort of footing between second and first, and I think that's going to be a real challenge. If we can win that game against Morpeth, I think that really cements our credentials as playoff candidates at least. To be fair, after that Morpeth and Pontefract episode, we probably could go straight to the end and do Cleethorpes and Pickering. That could be quite an interesting one. So not long left in the season at all. So thank you very much for watching today's episode, and thank you very much for getting me to 1 million views overall. That's just a crazy number. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.